Hi there, this is Tracy with TotallyTraced. I am live today with you with my Charming Day card class to go. So at least once a month I come live and I do a class with 5 cards or 5 projects or close to that, and I feature a suite, and then you can make these same cards by ordering a kit. And so I've got my kit right here. And I know a lot of you have already purchased this and hopefully will be live with me in a little bit making these. And if you haven't, that's all right. The link to get the kit is in the in my comments section. Sorry, I'm having a hard time talking. So your kit will include 6 6x6 sheets of paper, and then it will have a foot of ribbon because we will be making a bow, and then you'll have 30 of the, oh gosh, I forgot the name of them, Charming glitter dots, shimmer dots. I think I just made that up, but something along those lines. And then you'll have 5 envelopes with all the supplies that you need to make the cards. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. So let me just organize a little bit. I feel like every time I do this, I start really organized and then I don't end organized. Hi, Lena. Hi, Carrie. All right. So later when I'm asking, where are my shimmer dots? You're going to say they're all the way up at the top because that's not normally where I put them. But I'm going to try a different strategy today to be more organized. All right, the first card that I'm going to make is this card. And something I love about this suite is the paper. And really, this is one of those cards where the paper does all the work, which that makes it even better. It's nice. So these are those kinds of cards where you can make it really quick and be done. All right, I'm just going to find my envelope. Maybe the second time I'll find it. Let's see. This feels the thinnest. So I'm going to guess this is, yeah, there we go. All right, so I've got my white card base, and then in it you have a white scrap to do your flower, and then of course you have that the textured notes dies, the rectangle. And I'm gonna grab this paper. I think this is my favorite paper out of it. It's so playful yet flowery and has lots of great colors. If you do have the kit and are crafting along with me, make sure you have that tutorial that I sent to your email. And if you didn't get it for some reason, please reach out to me because I did send it to everybody, but I've had one person say they didn't get it. And so my fear is if that person didn't get it, maybe I forgot, or not forgot, I sent it, but maybe something went wrong and it didn't go to anybody. So again, if you didn't get it, reach out to me. All right, so that is going to go there. And then I'm going to stamp my flower. So the Charming Day comes with this big flower and this tiny one. Personally, I love the big stamped images. Sometimes I don't know what to do with the tiny ones. All right, and I'm just stamping it with, or inking it with StazOn. Which, by the way, the refills have been on out of stock or low inventory forever. So I just got mine and I just re-inked today. So this should stamp nicely or not. So that's why I have 2 sides. Let's try that again. Maybe my ink pad was really that dry because it has been forever since I've re-inked. There we go, that's better. All right. Then you're gonna color this. You can color it with whatever tools you have. I am using Pumpkin Pie and Mossy Meadow inkers, or blends, sorry. And the color in the paper, I think, is probably Peach Pie, maybe Timid Tiger. But again, I don't have those. These will be close enough. You use whatever you have. Even colored pencils will look nice. So as you guys know, I'm a teacher, and I always say most people think that teachers have the summer off, and we really don't. Like I've worked all summer, but this week I have been in training all week, and now I remember what it really does feel like to work. I've come home brain dead every day. Monday was the first day of it, and I was in bed by 7:30. Lots of good thinking going on. So today when I got home about a little less than an hour ago, and I thought, oh, am I going to make it through this? I might fall asleep halfway through. Oh, good. Hi, I'm back. Sorry about that. Something happened on the phone and the live just stopped. So for me, school starts. So this week, teachers are in training all week. Next week, we get to go in and set up our classrooms. And then the week after that is planning, and then kids are back. I've enjoyed watching all the back to school commercials. I especially love the one that sings "Back to Life, Back to Reality." It's true for the teachers and the kids. The parents might feel differently. They might be celebrating a little bit. I don't know. Hi, Fran. Thanks for joining. All right, I'm just going to go in and do some dark. I'm not going to make it look too pretty, just so that you can make yours look as pretty as you want, but I don't want to hold you up on my coloring. All right, so then again, there is a die cut for this. If you are making these cards with me and you don't have this, any large flower will do. It doesn't have to be the same as mine. All right, I'm just going to cut this real quick. All right, and all of you know it's free shipping time right now, right? At least in the US it is. I don't know, Carrie, is it free shipping in Australia too? So free shipping means an automatic savings of 11% in the US, which is huge because every time I place my order, I look at the price, I'm like, okay, I'm good with that. And then they add the tax and the shipping. I'm like, oh, and then of course by then you've already picked it and want it. So you're like, okay, whatever, I'm paying it. So I love when it's free shipping. I'm actually considering getting another Stampin' and Emboss machine because I have one of the very originals of Stampin' Up! And it works fine, but it's not a fold-up one like the newer one. It's not as pretty. And I thought there's no way, but with free shipping, I'm really tempted. Oh, you're on day 2 of free shipping. Okay, we're on day 1. And so again, if like this is the time to order if you're wondering, because any order $75 or more does get free shipping. And then of course, if you're in the US and you order from me, you can use my link in the comments, and I've got some extra perks too. So you'll get some free designer series paper from me, and then you'll get the free card kit of the month. All right, so I'm stamping this happy birthday towards the top and the right because I want plenty of room for that. All right, and I'm happy with how everything has turned out, so I'm gonna glue down. I've had a cart filled for a while now, and I was hoping free shipping was coming. Something was telling me it was, because we're all waiting for that new catalog to come out. So I'm guessing maybe sales slump at this time because they know people are holding off. All right. And then I'm just going to glue that. Onto here. And then we're going to pop this up. use some of my last bits. Of the sheet of dimensionals. Hi, Jeanette. I'm glad you could make me live. I see you commenting all the time. I think this is the first time I've seen you live with me. All right, and there we go. There is card number 1. All right, and at the end, of course, you're going to have to tell me your favorites. Just put all this away. All right, card number 2. So I actually have a funny story about this card. We're gonna make this fun folds. And I call myself Totally Traced because I truly believe that anybody can craft. And if you're saying, no, I can't, then all you need to do is start by copying. So get a kit, whether it's mine or another demonstrator that you like, grab a kit and just copy. And then the next time you do it, copy and change just one thing. Because I truly believe that's what crafting is. Well, this card, I made this card, and then a week later, my upline posted a class she had done, and it was all of this fun fold, and it was complete coincidence. But I know she also ordered this kit, so I'll wonder what she thinks of this card and if the dimensions are the same or not. Oh, hi, Debbie. I'm so glad you could join it. All right, so Debbie, I was talking about how you didn't get the tutorial, and I was worried that other people didn't either. I emailed it to you again right before I started live, so I'm hoping that you got it. If not, we'll have to figure something out. All right, so we're going to make this card. So again, I'm going to find the kit that has that. So in your kit, you're going to have all the pieces that you need. Again, the only thing that you need to provide is stamps and ink. All right, so I'm just going to accordion fold this. So those front panels, I'm folding both of them back. And I'm going to use this to really get a crease, but to be honest, this is one that I stuck underneath a computer for a while, and you can see it still doesn't necessarily stay flat. Okay, and I'm actually going to start with the inside of this card. So when you're looking at all the pieces that you have, you want the Pretty Peacock that's the widest, and then the white piece that layers right on it. So that's where we're going to start. And you're going to want a mat or something to stamp off on. And I'm going to use that big flower again. I'll probably be using this one all night, so I should just keep it out. And I'm going to ink it with black. Okay, and then I'm going to just stamp off. And there's no rules except for I don't want to cover the whole thing. I'm purposely going to just do some of it. And then I'm going to do the other corner too, and I'll show you my original, so it's not going to be the same, but I'm going to flip it upside down and try and get more of the flower. But again, that's just how I designed it. However you want to do it, you can. And again, if you don't have this set, you can use any flower. All right, so it's going to look like that. Let me get this out of the way. And then we're going to color. So this time I am using Petal Pink and Pretty Peacock. Actually, I'm using Lost Lagoon. So the paper is Pretty Peacock, but I'm using Lost Lagoon. And this color combination I am loving. If you're watching my reels, because again, I have featured this all month long, on my Facebook page. So I've been making at least one reel a week. So you might see this color has popped up a lot. And I'm thinking even when I'm done playing with this set, I'm going to keep this color combination. Oops, I almost colored the flower. I'm coloring super fast just so that I'm not holding you up. Although I found when I watch other people in their reels, I don't mind watching them color. It's a little soothing even when it's not me doing the one coloring. Again, you can go back in and add some depth with the darker colors. So I tend to trace the leaves like over here where it overlaps, so you can do that. Same thing with the petal pink. I go in with a little bit darker, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to keep going along. All right, while I'm doing the inside, I'm gonna put the You Made My Day in the middle. All right, so heads up, if you have this stamp set, I don't know if you can tell, but the words are not straight with the stamp itself. So I have stamped this crooked so many times. I'm saying that to remind myself and you that I got to pay attention to the words, not the stamp, and I'm really bad at that. Oh, Nancy, first time watching? Welcome. All right, so let's just make sure I'm inked up, and then we'll see. And remember, I have a camera and lighting all on my face, so we'll see how I do. Okay, that's not too bad. So that's going to be the inside of the card. And when I designed it, I thought, oh my gosh, that is so pretty just by itself that I made this card. Like super simple. Of course, I can't open it right now. There we go. Super simple, white, just because I love that color combination. Cards don't always have to be these extravagant things, although you know how I like my extravagant. All right, so I'm just going to attach this. Okay, so pretty. Hi, Teresa, welcome. I think you might be first time watcher too. I'm not recognizing your name. And then I'm going to glue this right into the center. And I just find it helpful to do the inside of this one first because we're gonna wanna make sure we hide that when we do our other layers. All right, so other layers. Again, I've got two pieces left. I'm going to use my larger one, and then I'm going to get the Designer Series paper. So you're going to want to pull out this one. Again, beautiful colors. And I really think this is Cajun Craze, which has Cajun Craze ever looked that pretty? All right, and I am going to look at my tutorial just to make sure I've got the measurements right. And then we'll just make sure it lines up. Okay, that looks right. Okay, and then these are going to get glued down. And this can go however you want. I'll show you my original again just so you could see it could look different. So I chose to layer it this way, but you could see I really could layer it this way. I could make, well, I can't flip that one over now to show you, but I could have made that one this. It's however you want it to look. I'm going to keep my same as my original for those of you that are following along with the tutorial. So you can, oh, I guess I'm not going to keep it the same because I just put glue on the wrong side. All right, I'm going to show you two different versions. I did that on purpose. All right, so now when I'm gluing these, this one's going to go here and this one's going to go here. But where you put your glue is going to be very important. So I don't want to put glue anywhere here because then you're going to glue your card. Oh, here, let me put it in camera. I'm not putting glue here because then I'm going to glue my card shut. I also want to make sure that when these pieces are laid down, you're not seeing that piece underneath. And then I also want to make sure that I can close this card. Yeah, so that won't be an issue. All right, so I have this one where I want it to be. So I'm just going to, let's see. I'm going to flip it this way so I can see right where my glue is going. All right, and then I'm going to lay it down. And again, I'm trying to overlap over this so I'm not covering that. I'm sorry, I said I am covering that. Did I mention that I've been back to full week training and my brain is dead? All right, so now this side, same thing. I just kind of want to visualize where it is. Then I'm flipping it this way so I can see where my glue is going so I don't glue my card shut. Just like that. All right, I'm gonna hold that for just a second. And then we're going to stamp that big flower again. Oh, I thought I had lost my ink for a second. Okay, and then you are going to color it. This time I won't color, again, just so you're not stuck watching me color all night. But I am going to die cut that out. So I'm just gonna lay it over there and run that through my Stamp and Emboss machine. All right, so you would color it, and then I actually have it going upside down, so it looks like that. And then remember, in your kit you have the gold ribbon, so you're just going to tie a bow. Okay, and so you will pop this up with your dimensionals. You'll do your little glue dot here, which I can still do that. I'm not going to pop this down because I will color it later. Oh, Susan says, love this. Thanks, Susan. I would ask if it's the fun fold you like or the paper, but I know it just kind of all, it's probably all of it together. Okay, so you'll do that. And then I gave you a little scrap. And on that, we're going to stamp hay. And again, I did it in Lost Lagoon. Okay, and then we'll fussy cut that. And then you should know this is not my strength. There are people that are just amazing with their fussy cutting. And then this will get another little glue dot on the back. And you'll stick it right on top of that bow. And then I'm just gonna cut my excess off. And then that's the only one that we're using that ribbon. So if you have the kit and you want to save some of that ribbon and be a little bit more strategic with it, you can, but you won't need any more. And then, of course, we have the shimmer dots. I don't know if you'll be able to see, and look, you can see the ink on my hand, but these really are like blingy. They're faceted and have all kinds of sparkle in them. So I just took one of the bigger ones and one of the smaller ones and put it there. So I'll do that on this one. That might be the, we'll see how it looks since I did the wrong side of the paper. But actually I really like it this way too. So there we go. And then it opens like that. So if you did it my way, you could even save your bling for another card. And of course you would color that. Okay, so there it is if you use the more subtle side. And then this, if you use the DSP, the side A, I think is what they call it on both. All right. Yes, Debbie, this is the stamp set and bundle is Charming Days, and the paper, I believe, is actually called Floral Days. Because, you know, we can't keep them the same name because we purposely want to confuse people. I call it the wrong thing all the time. Does that mean you're asking because you're adding it to your wish list during this free shipping time? Oh, thanks, Carrie. She says beautiful cards. Oh, thanks, Nancy. All right, let's move on to card number 3. Okay, so here's card number 3. This is one of my favorite fun folds. Super easy to do, but has a huge impact. My mom was just visiting this weekend, and she saw this, and she's like, how did you do that? And then when she saw how simple it was, she's like, oh. All right, so in your kits, you're just gonna pull out all of your supplies. And so for this one, you can see the card, what's making the card is that it's actually the designer series paper. So my card base is just a sheet of paper. And again, all your measurements are on your PDF. Oh, Debbie says, yes, I'm ordering it. It was one that I thought, I wasn't sure if I was going to, but then I did a poll of who would want me to. And a lot of people said yes. And so I ordered it and no regrets. My process when I first get designer series paper in a new bundle is the first day I sit down, I'm so excited to play, and I end up not doing anything the first day. I'm too stressed to cut into the paper because I'm worried I'm going to make a mistake and it's not going to be the best card I can make, and it happens every time on the first time I sit down. And it happened with this one. And the second day, I made a couple cards and I thought, I don't know about this set. Like, what am I going to do that's going to make these look different? And then I just kept going and going and going. Like the ideas were flowing because the paper is so pretty. All right, so you can see, very easy to make that. It works with any designer series paper. All right, so then you have 2 arches, and mine's got some stuff on it, so I might glue that on the I'll just make sure my flowers cover it. So you've got a larger one and a smaller one. And the purpose of that is, again, we want to cover that inside piece. So I'm going to start with this and I'm going to glue it in the center. Okay, and then that's going to tell me, oh, I almost took it off that card. That's going to tell me where this one's going to go. So I just need to make sure that I'm covering that, but I'm going to first design it. And I don't know if you can see on mine, somehow I've got a couple specks. So I want to make sure I cover those, but that's okay. I've got these twigs out. Look, that one does it already. So that's what I'm going to do. It looks like one little piece didn't punch out. So these die cuts come from this bundle too. These are both the twigs, stems. Love them both. And I've really been playing with using them in different colors, like not using your typical greens, which I honestly, I don't think that's my creativity. I think that's the paper had those colors, so that's what I did. All right. Oh, it looks like there's another piece that I didn't pop out. Come on. There we go. And I probably should have stamped my sentiment first. I was more worried about covering up those pieces. We'll see if I left enough room. Okay. All right, let me get my sentiment just to make sure I've got some room there. So I'm using Thanks for Being You. And I'm going to use Misty Moonlight. Nancy's asking, how do I get to directions? So Nancy, couple things. So this is a kit and the PDF directions come with it. So if you want the kits, it's in the, I'm sorry, I'm trying to stamp and talk at the same time. It's not working. Let me focus on one. So to order the kit in the comments section, I have the registration link, so you can do it that way. If you want just the PDF tutorial, that's in my store, and I don't think I have that linked, but I can go in and add that at the ends. All right. Okay, so we have that, and then I'm going to add just this one. I'm going to only put glue on parts of it because I'm going to have it hang off this arch on purpose. It's one of the things I love about this green glue is I can do that and it is going to stay. Okay. And then these I'm going to pop up, but you can see they kind of have holes through them. So I'm using the mini dimensionals. So I'm just going to put, let's see if I can fit 2 of them on there. Oops, let's see if I can pick up one. Let's try right there. Okay, and then I'm just gonna put this one off to the side. Hi, Anne, welcome back. And have you had a chance to make the last kit I sent you? I think Calorie Blooms, did I send you? All right, so it looks like that. And then again, when I'm gluing, I just want to make sure that I'm only gluing the part that's on here. I don't want to glue my, oh, I didn't give that enough time to dry apparently. Let's try that again. I promise the little dots are enough if you give it the time. I just apparently didn't give it the time. Okay, so I'm gonna flip that over. Oh, first I'm gonna make sure. Okay, so I'm gluing this side. I always say that so many times because you've probably guessed already, I've definitely glued a card shut or two. Okay, and I'll just hold that for a second. And then back to my shimmering dots. I love, love, love this blue. In fact, if you saw my sheet that's not part of the kit, you would see all the blue are already gone. I mean, honestly, most of the petunia pop is gone too, and the light pink, but the blue was gone almost instantly. I don't know why this one's giving me such a hard time. There we go, card number 3. Oh, Anne says, not yet. Got to make some time for yourself. I say that in jest because I know how hard that is. All right, I'm going to clean up and get ready for card number 4. All right, let's see what we have for card number 4. Okay, another one where, actually probably you could say it for all of these, the work is being done by the paper. Okay, so in your kit, you're going to get the one with the white card base, and it's going to have that beautiful Blackberry Bliss. Okay, and then we're looking for this paper. And so this, the Blackberry Bliss, is going to be a frame for that one. Oop, let's not score. That's going to get laid just like that. And then I've die cut the textured notes die for you. So that's going to go there. And then you can see it's that same stem that we used on the other one, just in a different color. Love it in that color. And then you have your scrap, and we're going to stamp. No, Debbie's asking if the directions are on Facebook. No, Debbie, I sent them to your email. I sent them again right before I went live because I know you said you couldn't find them. In fact, I responded right to your email asking me that question. All right, so we're just gonna stamp that. Okay, and I'm coloring with Blackberry Bliss. I'm only gonna use the light one because even the light one comes out pretty dark. Okay, and then of course you can go over darker in some of the corners if you want to. I'm not going to get too fancy just to save some of your time. And then I'm using Mossy Meadow. Again, I'm using the light because this is another one that tends to go really dark. And then this also has a die as part of the bundle. Oh, right there it is. Okay, so I'm just gonna run that through. believe it's 2 weeks from tonight is I'm seeing a lot of newbies on tonight. 2 weeks from tonight is my free card class. So that's where I give you the measurements of a card. You bring whatever supplies you have and you craft along with me. So it's basically you're getting a template, or if you've ever participated in a mystery project, it's going to be that. So that is 2 weeks from today. I always do it the first Wednesday of the month. All right, and that's going to go there. Before I do that, I'm going to stamp You Made My Day. And I'm going to do it in that Blackberry Bliss. Oh, just kidding. I'm not seeing You Made My Day. Because I didn't clean it. All right, and this is the one that I warned you earlier, the pay attention to the words, not the stamp. Because I tend to go crooked on this one for some reason. A little crooked, but again, it shows it's homemade. All right, and then I'm going to glue this down. Okay, and then I'm going to pop this up over it. My goal is really to finish off this by the end of the night. Okay, we'll just layer that right over the top. And then let's start assembling. I just feel like the white really makes that pop. Like, did you see the difference as soon as it was laid up against the white cardstock? Okay, and then I'm going to put some dimensionals on the back of this. And woohoo, I finally finished that sheet. Okay, and that is going to get laid just off to the center and then back to these dots. Okay, I think I'm going to use my tool because these are not cooperating tonight. Yeah, that's better. There we go, card number 3. Wait, is that card number? No, card number 4. We've only got one more to make. All right, so our last one is going to be that one. I'm just going to clean up for a second here, get myself organized again. Hi, Cynthia. Thanks for watching. Oh, thanks, Julie. She says, so pretty. All right. So on this card, our last envelope. So again, this is what you see me doing is exactly how your kit is going to come. Everything that's in the envelopes you're getting. The only thing that you won't have are the stamps and the inks. And then of course you'll need your basic tools like glue or stamp and seal, whatever you choose to use. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and glue this down. I've embossed this for you. It's the 3D exposed brick, I think is the name of it. All right, and then I want to show you a little trick with this. So I've die cut the same die, so it's just this one, and I cut it out of Timid Tiger and Misty Moonlight. And what I'm gonna do is, off the Timid Tiger, I'm gonna cut off all these leaves, because I want my leaves to be the blue. Which I love just saying that, like, who has blue leaves? But because the paper has it, I feel like it makes it legal for me to do it. All right, and I'm setting those aside because I am gonna use those too. But now I'm gonna glue these down so that it all looks like one piece. Okay, this one I feel like you really should use the green glue or some form of glue, because you're going to want to play with it to get it so it lays correctly. I don't know about you, but if I did seal on this, I would never be able to get that. All right, so that's lined up very well. All right, then we're going to use this paper. Cut this real quick. And then that is going to go there. And so basically now I'm just kind of layering everything up on the card. So I'm going to start assembling. So we go there. I'm going to glue this to my card base. All right, this is also going to get glued flat, but I'm going to use one of these scrap pieces, and it doesn't matter which one. Looks like I might have used that one, but I think this time I'm going to use that one. And let's see, I want it to go. So I'm going to glue. This is kind of one of those you're going to have to eyeball. Okay, so I'm going to want this here. So we'll put that about there. And then I'm going to glue this down. Okay, now this one I'm going to pop up. And again, because there's so many holes, I am going to use the minis. I tend to be pretty conservative with my dimensionals. You use however many you think you need. Whoops, let's not do it that way. We'll do it this way. Okay, just like that. And then wherever you feel like there are holes, you're gonna start putting these in. No rules, just put them wherever you want. Just gives it more depth. Let's see, where will this one? I kind of like it right there. Okay, and then you have your little scrap to do your sentiment. So I'm gonna do can't wait to see you again. Again, with this set, you're really gonna pay attention to the words, not the stamp itself. Otherwise, you're gonna be crooked. Unless it's just me that struggles with this every time with this stamp set. Okay, I'm not sure I'm going to be able to do it with that camera in the way, but we'll see. Oh yeah, that looks okay. And then I just cut it close all the way around. All right, and then I'm gonna lay this here, and since this side, it's gonna be on something that's flat, I'm gonna put a dimensional, and since this is already popped up, I'm just gonna put some glue on that side so that everything's laying at the same level. And then just so I, oh, sorry, shake, shake. Just so I know, I'll just put a little dab up there. So just like that. And then we'll pull out those blue dots again. Oh, now you're going to be finicky with the tool even, huh? There we go. Oh, these do not like me today. All right, and there is our 5th card. Oh, thanks, Debbie. She says they're all gorgeous. So, Debbie, I think you already have your kit. We'll definitely make sure that you get your tutorial if you haven't found it yet, because I want you to be able to make these. All right, so I'm just going to pull them back out so you can see all of them. Again, you can get the kit to make all these. Link is in the comments section. There we go. I believe I am live next week. I'm live almost every Wednesday, sharing at least the design. It won't be a class next week, but I'll be sharing a card. And then remember, 2 weeks from today is my free class. So it's always 5:30 Eastern time. So I hope I will see you. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you loved all the cards and got some inspiration, and we'll try your own too. See you next time.